Hello, welcome back to another video of Prehistoric Speculation, where today Frontier has just done their end of month recap stream on the Jurassic World Evolution 2 YouTube channel. This was more of a general recap of everything that's been announced and revealed over the last month. However, there were a few little tidbits of information that were shown which I'm going to cover in this video. So, first of all, quite exciting news. There were 5 new species announced. 2 of these are confirmed, 3 of them a bit more speculative, I think. So, the 2 that are 100% confirmed, we've seen gameplay of them, is the Parasaurolophus and the Baryonyx. The other 3 were mentioned in conversation, I think. They weren't really shown in-game as much, but they probably will still be in the game, almost certainly. These 3 are the Homalocephalae, the Dryosaurus, and the Kentrosaurus. These are all mentioned and probably will be in the game. We'll keep an eye out for those later. Hopefully they make it in because I quite like all of those creatures. So, the main new thing that we learned about this was they did a much more in-depth look at the science system. This really showed us a lot more in detail about what they will do, and it just summarized it. The video will be playing in the background, the audio will be off it obviously, but they showed us this in the form of a park management guide. This seems like it's going to be something new, very similar to the species field guide that we get for the dinosaurs, but this will cover features of management. So it's titled Number 1, so we can expect to see a few more of these in the future, hopefully, maybe releasing with the dev diaries or stuff like that. But yeah, keep an eye out for those. So, anyway, we learned quite a bit about these scientists through this. So, we get to see a bit more of the scientist page, where we learn a bit more about how you will upgrade their skills and how they will be used. Each scientist has 3 skills: logistics, genetics, and welfare. Each scientist has a certain amount of training points you can put into these skills. Because you have a certain amount, it means you can't max up every scientist all the way on every single skill, I don't believe. So you'll say you can put loads of points into the logistics of a certain scientist, and it's really good at that, but it's not so good at genetics or welfare. That's sort of how I see it working. Maybe you can gain training points for scientists, I'm not too sure about that because it doesn't really show us. But if you can gain for scientists, then yeah, you'll be able to eventually max them all out, but that seems like it will take much longer. So originally you'll want to have, say, 1 scientist specialised in logistics, 1 in genetics, and 1 in welfare. You can assign multiple scientists to a task to make that task go much better. Maybe if you add 2 people that have the same effect, that effect will be doubled. So if you have faster research as one of the traits, then it will double the research speed, basically. Or double the effect. So, we also learn a bit more about the burnout system. So every time a scientist is assigned to something, they will gain 1 burnout. Once they're in burnout, they are still usable, but there's a risk that every time they do a new task, that they'll sabotage something. And I think that risk will increase as you use them more and more while they're burnt out. We also see that you can train them, which I assume will increase the amount of... Actually, that's probably what the increase in the amount of training points will do, actually. If you train them, you'll get more training points to put into logistics and things like that. But obviously that will cost money. Scientists do appear to be quite expensive, but that is to be expected, as they sort of help everything run, and your park won't really function without them. So, that's about the basics of the scientists. We do actually learn that the amount of scientists we have in our park will be limited by the staff centre, but we already sort of knew that. That was just confirmed for us by the video. We get to see our first look at the research system. The research system seems to be a bit different, especially the dig site system as well has a lot of changes, as we can see from this screenshot, which will hopefully be on screen. It shows that you can research a dig site which will have specific type of creature. So armored herbivore 2B is what you would be researching, and this will unlock the Tindaglu formation, which obviously will have armoured herbivores in it, but it seems like it'll only have armoured herbivores in it. Which shows that dig sites, there should be more of them to separate out the different classes of dinosaur, as well as them no longer being achieved through different islands, they are now researched, which is a really interesting thing to see, and it was sort of weird that we didn't see it in the first place. We also see that to do a task, you sort of need to have a certain amount of genetics and logistics applied to it, as you can also see here, because this one needs at least 1 logistics and 4 science, and because you don't have those 4 science, you can't carry out the task. Imagine having over that will actually increase it, and having having the good traits in a scientist will increase the speed that this task is carried out. But that is really interesting to see that they have like pretty much overhauled the research and dig site system, which is pretty cool to see. I imagine they'll also control your dig team, so you'll no longer have dig teams, you'll have scientists, which is also pretty cool. So, yeah, that is pretty much everything we've learnt from the scientist. It is an incredibly cool system, and I think adds much more depth to the game, and is really nice to see. Yeah, so, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. You can always unsubscribe at any time. It's not really much of an issue to you, but it does mean a lot to me. So, if you think there's anything I've missed, or you want to talk about any of this in the comments, feel free to, you know, enjoy yourself down there, just don't be mean. And yeah, anyway, I'll see you in the next video.